Hi James, welcome to your week ahead. So we're going to be looking at your current update for this week, okay? So we are going to be doing a series for Gemini in the membership. So the first read is going to be the healing wound, that's what it's called. So if you want to join the membership, you'll get access to this series of reads we're going to be doing, and it's exclusively for Gemini. So for the Geminis who kind of really want to get deep, join the membership in the description box below. It's the price of a coffee. The brand new website is up with lots of boss reads. If you want to check it out and book, you can. Okay, so lots of messages were coming through, but I think a big message for you this week is you're really getting shit done. Like, you really just want to focus on what matters. I also read that for the individual Gemini, there is something big that's been weighing on you, and you can really fix that problem this week. So it's just something in your life that feels like a burden, it feels like a weight. Maybe there's something you need to confront. This is a week where you're doing mind over matter, you're doing logic over emotion, you're giving yourself no excuses, you're not playing the victim, and I think you're really going to get stuff done this week, okay? Because I feel like some of you, like, you really want to get yourself out of a situation because that situation is becoming unbearable. So it really is that you have to confront the problem, okay? But it's a very productive week for the Geminis who really just want to focus on long-term stability, long-term security. For the Geminis who've been jobless, or you are jobless, like, you can really turn it around. But I feel like this week, like, you do need to put the work in. Some of you are just feeling really frustrated. You're at breaking point with the situation you're personally facing. But I feel like this is a week where mind over matter, okay? Because it doesn't take a long time to change your life. You can change your life pretty quickly. I know, because I've done it. Like, you really can just get up one day and say, fuck this. Like, no. Like, really, it takes a moment. Like, people have said, they're saying it takes a long time to change your life, and it can. But you can do it relatively quickly. So, yeah, some of yours, I also read new social groups. So what's happening this week is you're putting yourself around the right people, and that is really, like, important, because when we're around the right people, half the battle's fought, right? So I feel like this week you might be joining seminars or groups, or maybe you're changing up your social media, the type of people that you follow. There's something about new motivation, new types of people, and they also help you, okay? King of Cups. Some years I think you're taking on the energy of other people or another person. I think you're starting to see that. So some of you are kind of starting to see that the people around you or a certain person in your life is having a big effect on your life. Again, it's about the truth. Don't sacrifice yourself for other people. That's not love. You know, compromise by all means, but don't sacrifice yourself. Some of you are kind of seeing where you're sacrificing yourself to make other people feel comfortable, or you're sacrificing yourself for a relationship. It's time to stop doing that now. Okay, but the good stuff for Geminis this week is the King of Pentacles. The other side of the coin is some of you, there could be business opportunities coming in. We did talk about this, new people. So sometimes people seek us, we don't seek them. Like, in other words, sometimes people see our value, or they see our talents, or they give us our worth. So this can be people who are seeking you because actually they see the potential in you. Okay, what else are we seeing for Geminis this week? I heard you're just done. And then you've got the Hangman reversed. So some of you are just done sitting around making excuses. You're done playing the victim. And you're done waiting for people to change, or you're done waiting for a situation to change. And you also got the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is someone who really is thinking about the future. So this can also be you beating addictions because you're getting out of the hedonistic. You're no longer living day to day. That would also be survival mode. So survival mode is where we live day to day. This is someone who's starting to get really serious about the health, the wealth, and just the future in general. Okay, so the blocks for Gemini this week, please. The Death card. So some of you, I feel like the block is like, the Death card is, that's what truth is. Truth is accepting what needs to die. Truth is accepting what's over. Right? Truth is, obviously, the Death card rules the unconscious mind. So sometimes we need to get deep in ourselves to change things that are basically holding us captive. It's not always the people around us, and it's not always the world. Sometimes it's the stuff that's been buried in our unconscious. In other words, our upbringing. That's why I want to do the series for the Gemini, because there is stuff there for Geminis. You know, we've got karma, we've got wounding, we've got different things that hold us back. So I do think the Geminis who join the membership for this healing series are going to love it, okay? But in general, I feel like some of years it's about, the death card is about, you're going to have to accept that old self is going to have to die, or certain things in your life. Some of you could be holding on to the past, and it's dead, it's an old timeline, okay? So the good stuff for Geminis this week, please. You just don't care. Like, you just don't care. The Five of Swords person is like tit for tat. They want to get one up. They want to prove things to people. The Five of Swords person doesn't care. You've got nothing to prove. You've got nothing to lose. End of story. You don't care. You're not negotiating. I do think Geminis have been overly negotiating in their own mind, and they've been overly negotiating with other people. You don't have to do that. Life is short, right? I also think you're coming from the right perspective. So anyone who you're removing out of your life, or any choices you're making, you're not doing it from tit for tat, or it's coming from the right place, it's coming from the truth. And I feel like when you do this, God is always going to support you. But I love this energy for you, and I'm getting the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is where power that's been restricted, or energy that's been low, it's releasing. Now, it could just be what's happening in astrology, so some of you might want to look at the astrologers this week, because obviously a lot's been going on. But I feel like this nice energy in the solar plexus. It's kind of like either you come into your power, or maybe it's just the energy in general. But I feel like this week is a good week. I feel like if I was going to give one key message for this week, it would be there is something big that has been weighing on you. Something big, something that's really, really just been creating a lot of stress. And from stress comes addictions, it comes numbing, it comes avoidance, because there's something that's weighing on us. By dealing with this thing this week, it brings a lot of energy back, it brings a lot of power back. So you deal with one crucial thing this week. And you as a Gemini need to think about that thing that's weighing on you. That's the thing that you deal with this week. That's the thing that you confront. Maybe it's the job you're in, maybe it's debt, maybe it's a certain relationship, maybe there'll be a big standing in your power this week, where you stand up to someone. I do think the problem with Gemini is you've been taking too much of a passive approach, and that gives other people power, and I do think that it's a week to stop that. Okay, so let's see what else is going on this week for Gemini. The Page of Wands reversed. I'm also getting remember we talked about the past, so some of you Geminis, you're still holding on to somebody from the past, or you're holding on to the past, right? And because all your focus is going there, or all your energy is going there, you can't move forward, right? If all my energy is going into thinking things, well, the grass is greener on the other side, or living in the past, I'm not going to be able to move forward. So remember, the block this week is the Death card. So the Death card can be accepting what's done. What's done is done, you can't go back. It's time to look forward. Like, that's it. Okay, don't let it go, okay? Some of you have been holding on to somebody who, from your past, maybe it's a no contact situation. I'd let that go. Because the Geminis who don't, you're just going to continue to stay stuck. For the Geminis who are living in the past, you're not going to move forward, okay? It's time to heal your wounds. It's time to remember the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is meeting people. These are people who do help you to heal, or they help you to see blocks or whatever. Queen of Wands. Some of you might go to Reiki. The Queen of Wands is somebody who can build confidence. Maybe this is someone who can help build your business. This can also be someone who works in energy, because we got the solar plexus. So some of you might go to a Reiki healer this week. Some of you might do your own Reiki, and you start to see a lot of restricted energy release. Okay? Tell me about love for Geminis, please. What are we seeing for love? So some of you, the Seven of Swords is either your own mind is destroying you, so maybe that's what you need to work on. Maybe you need to work on a past wound. So maybe in the past you were wounded, and so the Seven of Cups reversed is you don't look at any options. So some of you might be deeply unhappy and you want love, but because of a past wound, you're single. The other side of the coin is some of you might be dealing with someone who's sneaking around, someone who's in and out. Maybe that's what you need to put an end to, okay? And that's what I'm actually getting for some Geminis. Like, you're giving all your energy and focus to a person who, this person's playing games, they're coming in and out, they're playing mind games, and this is what you need to put an end to. So this is where you're fully invested in a person who sees you as an option, right? So this person is coming in and out of your life because basically they want to keep you as an option, but you're fully invested in this person. It's time to be honest with yourself, it's time to be honest with other people, and it's time to put your foot down. Some of years there is a past wound. So the Seven of Swords for me is something from the past where you dealt with a person who could have been psychologically damaging. So this could have been a person who really did a number on you, or they've created a lot of fear. And so what's happening is you're scared to be in connection with another human being. This is the thing you need to heal. Because the thing is not all people are the same. It's one person in a shitload of people. But it's easy to feel like that's the case, okay? But I love this week. It's a week for your head down. It's a week for dealing. I feel like by dealing with a big thing this week, what that does is it builds power, it builds confidence, because that thing has been weighing and weighing and weighing. And because you go for the big thing rather than the small thing, it makes you feel like, well, if I can fix that, and that's been causing me all these problems, I can fix that. And so it builds momentum, okay? Some of you want to get on top of your weight. So your weight was coming up here. Some of you want to get on top of an addiction. I feel like there's a sense of like Gemini is fighting for itself. It's been allowing people to tell it its value, tell it its worth. And I feel like Gemini's now we're just like, nah, you're just haters. You just want me down with you. Like, no, and you're not even doing it from a nasty place. You can just see very, very clear who wants you to win and who wants you to die. Because that's the times we live in. People no longer even just want you to lose, they want you to die, you know. And Gemini's just wide awake to those type of people. But you're not playing no mind games. I think you're getting back to fighting for yourself. You're getting back to, you know, just wanting to live a good life, right? And some of years I feel like I said, I feel like what you're in is unbearable. And so I feel like that's what's giving you the drive. You know, sometimes we are in a situation or a set of circumstances that are just insufferable. And so that can give us the drive to say, fuck this, like, nah, I just can't. So, you know, people can be good for you. You know, people who want to see you down and stuff like that, they can be good for you. Okay, so anything else for Geminis this week? But I cannot say, I really feel like for the Geminis who are in a work mentality this week, they're in a kind of mind over matter, they're not sitting around, they really take care of business this week. I think it's going to be a profound week, okay? This could be a week you start a business, this could be a week you put your CV out there and you find a new job. It doesn't mean the results are going to come straight away, but this is the week you plant the seed. Okay, so you know what they say, you don't eat the fruit on the day you plant the harvest, but this is kind of the week where you do something fundamental and then it builds momentum and then the change comes. Okay, so what else are we seeing for Geminis? Some of you, I feel like you're avoiding love, so you might have a lot of options in love, but I feel like you're avoiding it. It's just not something you want to deal with right now. Because you know what Geminis are like, if we're not in a good place, we don't really want to be around people. Yes, we can be very, very social, but we can be very anti-social. So some of you Geminis, you just have no interest in being around people right now. Gemini always has options. Like, we don't need it, you know. And so some of you right now, you want to focus on yourself, you want to work on yourself. And some of you have got big problems, maybe job, maybe in yourself, that you want to work on before you bring someone into your life. Okay, so the blessings of this week for the sign of Gemini, please. Coming out of silence, speaking up for yourself, coming out of overthinking and second guessing. So the High Priestess is someone who she's in her emotion, she's withdrawing. This is coming out of withdrawal, this is coming out of silence. This can be standing up to people, speaking up to people. You are really, really ready, okay? The other side of the coin is the High Priestess is someone who's constantly in information mode, so they're seeking information. This week you're getting to work. That is the biggest message for this week. Act. Don't think, don't sit there doing research, act. Like, some of you know what you've got to fix, and I feel like this is the week to fix it. And some of you, like I said, there is a big thing that if you fix it, you're going to be so proud of yourself. And like I said, it's going to do something to your solar plexus where it's like, if I fix that, I can probably fix this, and I can probably fix that. Another vision I'm seeing for you is you just want to start working on your weight, maybe because of the season. So obviously we've moved into spring, so maybe some of you just want to start working on your body and your health for the summer. Okay, so there's a big goal that you've got in mind, and for example, if we want to lose weight, we're not going to see the result straight away. It might take 3 to 6 months. But there's, maybe you're going on a holiday in the summer, maybe there's a wedding, there's a goal, right? And I feel like by putting things into action and working towards that goal, you're going to see big results. I feel like the High Priestess is someone who, like we said, they've been passive, they've been withdrawn, they've been in themselves, whereas this week is where you come out of yourself, you stand up to people, you put people in the place, you're not in investigation mode or research mode, you're in action mode. It's like, okay, I'm going to start the business, I'm going to start the gym, this is a really awesome week for you, okay, like really awesome. So we've got the Tower and we've got the Ten of Wands. The other side of the coin is through the you know what they say, diamonds are made through pressure. So some of years that's what I'm getting, either people are putting you under pressure, this could be eternal pressure, where you're living in a false identity and you kind of feel suffocated and you feel like not happy. So this is what makes diamonds. Yeah, right. Some of yous right now, diamonds in the rough, so some of yous feel quite rough right now, but that's what you need to understand, that diamonds are built from pressure. So some of yous, it's time to accept that it's okay. You know, some of yous right now, you're not in your best version, I'm going to be honest, like some of yous are in your worst version, okay, but things can only get better. So, and some of yous, like I said, you're just kind of looking at the people around you, where you're living, the job you're doing, and some of you are just at breaking point, like you can't sustain what you're in, like you just can't, you just can't, you know, and some of you are just deeply unhappy, right? This is where you're leaning on addictions or you're doing things and you're not even happy in doing them. So those things that are supposed to bring us pleasure are not even helping us anymore, you know. And then the other side of the coin is some of you, I feel like this is amazing, you're ready to go on the healing journey, and that's why I'm going to be doing in the membership, check the link below, the healing wound. If you want the personal read for the healing wound, it's on the website in the description box below. But I feel like this is a fundamental reading that's going to really, really help Gemini. Okay, so this is, where's the wound coming from? Why am I acting the way I'm acting? Why am I pursuing what I'm pursuing? It's those bigger questions, and often people do build the life from an unconscious wound or from something that they haven't healed. So, Ten of Wands is breaking point, right? Ten of Wands is stress. Remember we talked about in the beginning, that thing that's been putting lots of pressure and lots of stress. But the Tower is something's coming down, and that's good. You know, so people see the Tower in the tarot deck and they panic, but that's not always bad. Sometimes things need to collapse, sometimes they need to fall apart, so that something much better can be rebuilt. But Geminis, I love this reading for you this week. I swear for the Geminis who listen to this advice and they really, really just come out of themselves and they say, right, this is the week. I'm not going to keep putting this off any longer. I'm getting it done. I promise you now. You will comment below and let me know. Tell me one thing, one big thing, one person. Tell me something below, or something you'd like to achieve, like something that is weighing on you that you would like to let go of. Because sometimes, and I do this, I've been doing this a lot, like when we write, when we make that commitment, when we make it public, we tend to do it, right? But some of you are just at breaking point, but you've also got to accept that for something new to come, something old must die. And sometimes it is a version of ourselves, sometimes we do need to heal our wounds, sometimes we do need to let people go. And sometimes what we do is we put people in our life as blocks so that we can give ourselves an excuse. In other words, we're using another human being as a reason to why we're not happy or where we want to be. And I feel like that needs to stop. Geminis know the thing that's weighing on them, they know the thing that needs to go, they know the thing that needs to change. The question is, are you going to use the energy this week? But honestly, I feel like this is one of Gemini's most powerful. And there will be some anxiety, there will be some nerves, there's a bit of shaky energy. But I feel like this week it's really on your side, so use it, because one day can change your life, 1 week can change your life, right? It's when you get to that point where it's like, okay, enough's enough. So this can be anything. It could be starting the gym and in 6 months time you look like a beast. It could be starting a business. It could be having that hard conversation. It could be ending relationships in your life. You're not beating around the bush. It's like, I feel like some of you have been being silent, and if you look at the past reads, the High Priestess has been coming up. You're no longer doing that with people now. You're no longer staying silent to make other people feel comfortable. You're putting people, but with the Five of Swords reversed, you're not doing it from a malicious place. You're doing it from a self. In other words, you're choosing yourself. Like, you know what I mean? It's like you're done. Like, you're choosing yourself, and some of you are choosing to heal yourself, and you're not blaming other people, and you're not looking back, and some of you are thinking about long-term stability and what makes you happy. And I do think a lot of Geminis have just been allowing other people to take away the peace, take away the happiness, and take away what's rightfully theirs. Fuck them. Okay, so like the video and comment, please like, comment, all of this, it helps the channel. A lot of you say, you know, Elisa, you do amazing reads. Okay, well, just like the video and comment, because it helps other Geminis to see the message, and you just know that's why I do this work. If you want a personal, there's amazing reads on the website. But if you're on a budget right now, which a lot of people are, join the membership, because we're going to be doing a whole series for just Gemini, and you're going to love it. I'll speak to you soon.